Oji and Ahmed Muraj would like to thank you all for blessing this happy occasion on the marriage of Marziya to Ahmed. We will commence the program with the recitation of Holy Quran. Can we please welcome Qasim Blakey with the Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
صلوات. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والفجر وليال عشر والشفع والوتر والليل إذا يسر هل في ذلك قسم لذي هجر ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بعاد إرم ذات العماد التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد وثمود الذين جابوا الصخرة الواد وفرعون ذي الأوتاد الذين طغوا في البلاد فأكثروا فيها الفساد فصب عليهم ربك سوط عذاب إن ربك لبالمرصاد فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمن وأما إذا ما ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه فيقول ربي أهانن كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين وتأكلون التراث أكلا لما وتحبون المال حبا جما كلا إذا دكت الأرض دكا دكا وجاء ربك والملك صفا صفا وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأنى له الذكرى يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي فيومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Thank you, Qasim, for that beautiful recitation. We will now continue the program with Hadith Qissa. Could we please welcome Haida Ali Dina with the Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Respected scholars, my elders and guests, very warm welcome to you. I wish to recite Hadith Qissa, which is the tradition event of the clock. This is a beautiful narration from the Lady of Light, Sayyida Fatima al-Zahra salamullahi alayhi salam. Salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. As reported by Hazrat Jabir ibn Abdullah Ansari, a pious close companion of the household of the Prophet, peace be upon him and his progeny, In this hadith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduces the central personality of Bibi Fatima alayhi salam with her father Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Her husband Imam Ali alayhi salam. And her sons Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Is the divine, infallible leaders and most beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna Allah wa malaikatu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuha allazina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallamu taslima. Allahumma Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. أفضل ما صليت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن جابر بن عبد الله الأنصاري عن فاطمة الزهراء عليه السلام بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله قال سمعت فاطمة أنها قال دخل علي أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة فقلت عليك السلام قال إني أجد في بدني ضعفا فقلت له أعيذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف فقال يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به وسرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه بدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. اللهم صل على فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه فقلت وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال يا أماه إني أشم عندك راية طيبة كأنها راية جد رسول الله فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت القصاء فأقبل الحسن نحو القصاء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله أتعزون لي أن أدخل معك تحت القصاء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوزي قد أذنت لك فدخل معه تحت القصاء فما كانت إلا ساعة وعزاب ولد الحسين قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه فقلت وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال لي يا أماه إني أشم عندك راية طيبة كأنها راية جد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت القصاء فدنا الحسين نحو القصاء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله أتعزون لي أن أكون معكما تحت القصاء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافي أمتي قد أذنت لك فدخل معهما تحت القصاء فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله فقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك راية طيبة كأنها راية أخي وابن عمي رسول الله. فقلت نعم، ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وسيي وخليفتي والصاحب لوائي، قد عزنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء ثم أتيت نحو الكساء فقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بزعتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرف الكساء وأومأ بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وكاستي وحمتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. صل على محمد وآله. فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان السماوات إني ما خلقت السماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدهية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مزية ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبتي هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبريل يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيت النبوة ومادن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقال جبريل يا ربي أتأذن لي أن أحبط إلى الأرض لأكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فحبط الأمين جبريل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله العلي الأعلى، يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت السماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدهية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مزية ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم، فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله إنهم نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبريل معنا تحت الكساء فقال لأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي إذن والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال النبي ثانيا يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا وفيه محموم إلا وفرج الله همه إلى يمين ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غمه إلى يمين ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته إلى يمين. فقال علي إذن والله فزنا وسئدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا واسودوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل على محمد. اللهم صل على فاطمة وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها وسر المستودع فيها عدد ما أحاط به علمك. May I please request for the Mu'mineen to remember the marhumins of the weddings and all our marhumins with the Surah Al-Fatiha.
Thank you, Haida Uncle. Before the lecture, we will now have a qasida by Hussein Mauji. Could we please welcome him with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أفضل السلام والسلام عليك يا رسول الله محمد وآل محمد. कौन समझे भला फातिमा कौन है, कौन समझे भला फातिमा कौन है, कौन समझे भला फातिमा कौन है। या नबी ओ अली, या नबी ओ अली, ओ खुदा कौन है, कौन समझे भला फातिमा कौन है, कौन समझे भला फातिमा। दे न पाए मुकम्मल जवाब अंबिया, दे न पाए मुकम्मल जवाब अंबिया। जब ये पूछा गया, जब ये पूछा गया सैयदा कौन है, कौन समझे भला फातिमा कौन है, कौन समझे भला फातिमा। हामिए कातिलाने जनाबे बतूल, हामिए कातिलाने जनाबे बतूल, मैं तो इंसान हूँ, मैं तो इंसान हूँ, तू बता कौन है। या अली कौन समझे भला फातिमा कौन है, कौन समझे भला फातिमा कौन है। कह रहे थे सलूनी सलूनी अली, कह रहे थे सलूनी सलूनी अली, कोई तो पूछता, कोई तो पूछता फातिमा कौन है, कौन समझे भला फातिमा कौन है, कौन समझे भला फातिमा कौन है। या नबी ओ अली, या नबी ओ अली, ओ खुदा कौन है, कौन समझे भला फातिमा कौन है। नारा हैदरी, सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि मोहम्मद व आली मोहम्मद। लगाते हैदरी नारे, लगाते हैदरी नारे, चेहरे मुस्कुराते हैं, अली के चाहने वाले खुशी से मनाते हैं, अली के चाहने वाले खुशी से लगाते हैदरी नारे, लगाते हैदरी नारे, चेहरे मुस्कुराते हैं। या अली जहाँ शादी की महफिल हो, कसीदे हम सुनाते हैं, जहाँ शादी की महफिल हो, कसीदे हम सुनाते हैं। हमारी बंदगी मौला, हमारी जिंदगी मौला, नबी ने कह दिया मौला, जिसे बस है वही मौला, सिखाया माँ ने अपनी लोरियों में या अली मौला। गदीरे खुम का किस्सा, गदीरे खुम का किस्सा अपने बच्चों को सुनाते हैं, अली के चाहने वाले खुशी से मनाते हैं, अली के चाहने वाले खुशी से। विला वाले यहाँ पर है, वली का जिक्र लाजिम है, खुदा वाले यहाँ पर है, नबी का जिक्र लाजिम है, अली वाले की शादी है, अली का जिक्र लाजिम है। कोई मिलाद करते हैं, कोई मिलाद करते हैं, कोई महफिल सजाते हैं, अली के चाहने वाले खुशी से मनाते हैं, अली के चाहने वाले खुशी से। फरिश्तों ने कहा मांगो दुआ शादी मुबारक हो, दुल्हन है बिन्ते अहमद फातिमा शादी मुबारक हो, खुदा का घर का दुल्हा आ गया शादी मुबारक हो। मुबारक बाद देने के, मुबारक बाद देने के लिए जिब्रील आए हैं, अली के चाहने वाले खुशी से मनाते हैं, जहाँ शादी की महफिल हो, कसीदे हम सुनाते हैं। सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि मोहम्मद व आली मोहम्मद।
Thank you, Hussein, for that eloquent recitation. Before we move on to the lecture, I should probably quickly introduce myself. So for those that don't know me, my name is Al-Abbas. I'm one of the groom's younger brothers, and clearly he's picked the funny one. I will now welcome Shaykh Mohammed Al-Hilli to deliver the lecture for today's program with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله مالك الملك مجري الفلك مسخر الرياح فالق الإصباح ديان الدين رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على من أرسله رحمة للعالمين وسماه في كتابه طه وياسين، البشير النذير والسراج المنير والطهر الطاهر والعلم الظاهر، صاحب السكينة والمدفون في المدينة، المنصور المؤيد والرسول المسدد، سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المطهرين المكرمين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أما بعد, my respected elders, scholars, sisters and brothers, Salamun alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. After that beautiful recitation, and due to the wonderful gathering that we are in and the positive energy that I feel, I have decided to speak for about 45 minutes. What I said was 4 to 5 minutes. But thank you for your support anyway. What is the love language of Sayyidatun Nisa Fatima Az-Zahra salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayha? In 1992, a particular individual by the name of Gary Chapman authored a book that most of us have come across. It's called The 5 Love Languages. It became a bestseller around the world, translated to many languages, and thousands upon thousands of copies were sold. The idea behind this particular book and the theory that he presents is that love, as spectacular and it's important that it is in relationships, is a language. You and I speak different languages. We understand different languages. If I was to speak to you and I had the ability to speak in a particular language that you don't understand, if I was to speak to you for a long period of time or for a short period, you wouldn't understand what is it that I'm saying. Likewise, the idea that's suggested by this particular individual, very much picked up and indeed practiced by so many people since that time, is that despite the fact that love is a universal language, despite the fact that it's so powerful and that is something that does not distinguish between background, gender, race, denomination, there are different ways to speak love or to express love or to show love. Why? The idea that's presented is that when it comes to love, certainly in marriage, sometimes a husband shows his wife certain manners or certain ways that he feels it's a good way to love her, but she doesn't feel loved. Likewise, sometimes what? Sometimes the wife shows her husband love, but he doesn't feel that compassion, doesn't feel that particular empathy. One particular example, one person said that I have tried so much to what? To take out my wife and show her love by taking her out to restaurants, for example, and for a meal, so-called date nights. But we have a lot of arguments. One time we had an argument, and what? And she immediately does what? The moment we fight, she goes upstairs and cleans the bathroom. So one day, I said to her, listen, I don't understand this method of yours to cope. When we have an argument, you go and clean the bathroom. How does that make sense? She said, you don't know all these years What do you mean? He said, when I clean the bathroom, the only thing I use is your toothbrush. In the recognition that there are different ways of people coping with not receiving love. The idea that was emerging from this particular work, that some of us may have done a quiz online or have tried to figure out our own language of love, is that there are, he thinks, this particular author, there are 5 ways in which a human being can show love to another human being. It's simplified, yet many people are able to somehow relate to it. Yes? And when it comes to these 5, sometimes they are through observation, meaning you see if the other individual is expressing themselves in a particular way, therefore desiring to be loved in a particular manner, or they themselves love through that particular language. What do we mean? For example, there could be a husband who continuously presents his wife with gifts. Maybe his wife's love language is not receiving gifts, but it is his, because he feels that's the best way to show love. The question that I have pondered is, this is a theory. But if we were to apply this theory, which, by the way, every single one of these 5, which I will explain, is 100% based on Islamic teachings, and they were presented before this, indeed, book came out. The question that arises is with regards to the beautiful personality and the immaculate status of the greatest female creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, أبيها الحوراء الإنسية البتول الطاهرة الزكية فاطمة الزهراء صلوات الله وسلامه عليها. Which of these 5 were her favorite way of receiving love? How did she want to be loved through this? From Amir al-Mu'mineen. Is there any evidence to suggest this? Because when you look at this wonderful relationship, as we are in this beautiful gathering and also celebrating the auspicious anniversary of her wilada, of her birth, when you look at this blessed relationship, there isn't a doubt in our minds. Every time someone mentions the name Ali and mentions the name Fatima, it brings some form of joy, some form of happiness in our hearts. One day somebody asked a scholar, why is it when I mention the name Ali and when I mention the name Fatima together, there is some kind of delight that is in my heart? What is the reason? The scholar said the following is the reason. Why? Ali ibn Abi Talib is what? Is an individual who is closely related to paradise. In which way? The Prophet of Islam, Rasul al-A'zam Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, once was asked, Ya Rasulullah, there is a tree in Jannah known as Tuba. Shajarati Tuba. What is this? He said, it's a tree that starts off from my house in paradise, and it has branches in the houses of every believer in paradise. Great. Someone else comes to him in another occasion and says, Ya Rasulullah, I heard the Quran says, Inna alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat tuba lahum. So what is this tuba? It's mentioned in the Quran. He says, it's a tree that starts in the house of Ali, and every believer has a branch in his house. So this person speaks to a few others. The other person says, no, you're wrong. I heard the Prophet say it starts in my house. The other person said, no, I swear the Prophet said it starts in the house of Ali. So one of us is not saying the truth. Let's go both of us to the Prophet. They came to the Prophet and said, Ya Rasulullah, which house is it? Your house or the house of Ali? You told me, one of them said, it starts in your house. The other ones, you said its roots are in the house of Ali. So which one is it? Solve this problem. The Prophet smiles. He says, أَلَا تَعْلَمْ أن بيتي وبيت علي في الجنة واحد. Don't you know my house and the house of Ali in paradise is one and the same? Yes? Therefore, there is a correlation between paradise and what? And the commander of the faithful. Number one. Number two, when it comes to what? When it comes to the Holy Lady of Light, there is a special connection with her and Jannah, isn't it? Because the riwayah says, when the Prophet of Islam was in the journey of Mi'raj, when he was led into the paradise, he consumed fruits or dates from where? From Shajarati Tuba. From the tree of Tuba that I've just described. Yes? And therefore she is Hawra'un Insiyya. That she is what? Created from the fruits of paradise. Therefore, when I describe and mention and live and try to emulate the life of Amir al-Mu'mineen and Sayyida Fatima, I feel good. Why? Because of their connection to Jannah, and therefore the gates of paradise open and I feel the breeze. I feel it. I feel that sense of what? That sense of joy that comes from this blessed place, that these two holy individuals, their union, indeed, is so important for us to get there. Question is, these five are important. Why? Because today we find many who are not expressing or showing their love, finding it hard to show love to the other in marriage, using excuses, fighting over petty matters. You look at social media and you see so many of these examples. One particular individual said, me and my wife, we had many fights over my mother-in-law. She keeps causing us problems. And this man is from the US, a non-Muslim by the name of George. He said, one day we decided to go to holiday to Jerusalem. When we went to Jerusalem, my mother-in-law died. So I went to the American embassy. I said to them, what are the options, that I have? They said, you can bury her here in Jerusalem. It will cost you $1,000. If you want to take her back to the United States, it will cost you $10,000. Which one would you like? He said, take her back to the United States. So they looked at him and said, you may have a very special relationship with your mother-in-law. You must have loved her so much that you want her buried back in the US. He said, no, you've got the wrong idea. They said, what? He said, a few thousand ago, somebody was buried here in Jerusalem. After 3 days, he came back to life. I don't want my mother-in-law to. So therefore, the idea that emerges is sometimes when there is no love, there is excuses that are found in order to create more problems. What are these five? And how do we decipher which one Sayyidatun Nisa actually experienced? Now, the theory says you have a primary love language and a secondary love language. Meaning that you and I, each and every individual, love to be loved through a one language, and secondary afterwards is also possible. The first one, not by any order of importance, but one that's described, is words of affirmation. What does that mean? It means if somebody's primary love language is words, they love to hear from their spouse nice comments, praise, acknowledgement, appreciation. Yes? The Holy Prophet of Islam, Rasul al-Azam, Mohammed sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, famously says, when you say to your wife, I love you, it will never leave her heart. Isn't it? That this expression is important. And for some people, it is all that matters. What happens if this is not expressed? If someone desires that their spouse always says nice words about them, on the contrary, uses insulting, derogatory words. Instead of feeling loved, they feel hated. They will begin to feel distant because they're not even receiving the love, but they're receiving the opposite. So it may hurt more than if their love language is not words. Please understand this. Sometimes between husband and wife, over the last 20 years, alhamdulillah, of tawfiq, of seeing many fights in community and across the different countries around the world, what I've noticed is when people say, you know what, all I said to her was this. All I said to her was, your biryani is not good. Your biryani is not the same as my mother's biryani. She got more upset than anything else. What's wrong with that? Maulana, you give us the ruling. This is not a fatwa. I give a ruling. All that it is that maybe her love language is words. She appreciates praise. Yes? Then the Holy Prophet of Islam one day was presented with some food. He ate it, and the Sahaba around him were expecting that he gives, and he never gave. Then he continued until he finished. Then when the person left, he thanked the person. The Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, you always share. But this time you never shared. Why? He said, because the food was sour. If I had given you, you would have commented. I did not want you to give a bad impression and hurt this person's feeling. Yes? The recognition sometimes is what? Sometimes if the love language is words, we have to be careful in the words we use in a marital relationship, whatever the scenario. The second one is refers to as what? As acts of service. Meaning, there are people who who feel loved when you do something for them. When you perform a certain act that is not normal for you to do. Often the example is given, men doing household chores, yes? Performing tasks at home that they don't often do. But this today is becoming a norm in the idea that many in today's society are taking part in many of their activities at home or their tasks because of perhaps the dynamics that have changed, and many times males and females are at work. Yet it could be anything that is beyond what is expected, or it's going above and beyond. Above and beyond, meaning what? I remember one of the brothers said to me this week, he said, I came back from work and I prepared myself some food. My wife was also at work. She never told me to prepare food. The moment she walked in, she saw the plate of mine. I'm ready, it's ready, all I'm about to eat. Nothing was cooked. She said to me, oh, who is this for? Immediately I thought, you know what? It's for me, but there's no food for her. So I said to her, this is for you. She said, oh, that's so sweet. I've never seen you give me, prepare any food, yes? And he said I had to then spend another half an hour, 40 minutes getting stuff out and preparing food. But it's going above and beyond and doing something that's not expected. That spark is important. And sometimes when this doesn't happen, when there's laziness or not fulfilled promises, it feels worse. If somebody's love language is this. The third is what? Is what's known as receiving gifts. What do we mean? This is when people enjoy and want people to give them gifts. The Holy Prophet, Al-Rasul Al-A'zam Mohammed sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, famously said, Tahadu tahabbu. If you want love, give people gifts. If you want to inculcate mahabba, mawadda, yes? If you want that which Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala has granted the husband and the wife, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً, then what? One of the things is to give gifts, yes? And this could be unexpected. This is not about the materialistic value of the gift. This is about the thoughtfulness of it. This is about not forgetting anniversaries. This is about not forgetting birthdays. For some people whose love language is this, they must not forget this. Because sometimes some of our brothers or sisters say, why is my wife making a big deal and I forgot our anniversary this year. Wedding anniversary, I forgot it. For them it's important. Why? Because it is their, what? Love language. Yes. One person said, I discovered that my wife's love language is gifts through this. On the eve of our 10th wedding anniversary, she said to me, tomorrow, you know, the big day is tomorrow. I had forgotten. So I said to her, of course, of course. She said, I have been waiting for 10 years. That outside the house goes from 0 to 100 in 10 seconds. So will I see it? He said, I promise you, you will see it. And my word is the truth. I do not lie. She said, excellent. You will fulfill your promise. Next morning, she wakes up. It's the 10th anniversary. Runs outside the house, opens the door, looks at the streets. There's nothing. This way, there's nothing. There's no this car. She's waiting. She looks next to the house door, and there is a set or one bathroom weighing scale. Sometimes, when you and I do not know each other's preferences, we may hurt the other without a shadow of a doubt, and therefore make situation indeed worse. The fourth love language is what? Is quality time. This is very important. Why? There are those who say the best way for you to love me is to spend time. Uninterrupted, undistracted time. Meaning no phones, no TV, no, for example, being distracted by anything else, but quality time that is enjoyed by each other. Now, when an individual does not spend time with someone whose love language is quality time, they feel unloved, unappreciated, despite the fact you may give them so many gifts. You may do so many acts of service at home. You may say to them how much you love them so many times, they will not feel loved. They will not, because their main love language is what? Is quality time. And the fifth one that's described by this individual is physical touch, hugs, and so-called, and the kisses, and anything that involves some form of what? Physical touch. On the contrary, if God forbid there is abuse or there is neglect, they feel hurt and unloved. Question, and that is from the blessed life of this great lady of Islam. Which one of these 5 is likely to have been her primary love language? From my humble study of the biography and the auspicious, illustrious life of Sayyidatun Nisa, it is very likely and possible that her love language was receiving gifts. Now, why is that? And where is the evidence in this? This is in relation to the Quranic description of this blessed household, especially found in Suratul Insan. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, as each and every one of us perhaps has gone into detail in the blessed story of the 3 consecutive days in which the Holy Lady of Light and Amir al-Mu'mineen and the Sayyida Shababi Ahl al-Jannah al-Hasan wal-Husayn salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim ajma'een. They had a vow and they observed the vow. Wow, how? They observed the fast for 3 consecutive days. One day they would give the food to the miskin, to the poor. Second day to the orphan. Third day to the captive. And they would remain without food, just drinking water and breaking their iftar with water only. Story we know. Quran does not tell us the story from the perspective of only this. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala dedicates 19 ayat in Surah Al-Insan to celebrate this auspicious event in Islamic history. And he starts off by describing the Ahl al-Bayt with a tremendously powerful term which you and I need to live up to in our marital setups. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إن الأبرار يشربون من كأس كان مزاجها كافورا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the term abrar. Abrar means what? The virtuous, the righteous, the good doers, the ones who want to help others, the ones who want to present others with something that will make them happy. Allah says for them there is paradise in which there is goblets of camphor and rivers by which they erupt, full of joy and happiness. Question, why is Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala using the term abrar? And how many times do we hear from the life of Sayyida that what? That she would give whatever she had for the others. That she would think of others before herself. That she wants to present things to others as a gift. To please others so that people are happy. And how many times we heard of this beautiful story in which one day Amir al-Mu'mineen looks at her and says, is there anything I can do for you? She says, I would love to have some pomegranates. Of course, at that time, there was no Deliveroo or Uber Eats. There was no such way in which to get what? Any types of food. Amir al-Mu'mineen searches Medina entirely. It's told there is a house of a person from the Jewish faith who has pomegranates. The Emir goes to him, knocks on the door. Can I have your pomegranates? He says, very expensive. He says, no problem. He's given these. He buys them. On his way, he gives them to a poor person who asks and says, I am hungry. I want some pomegranates. Amir al-Mu'mineen gives it to him. When he returns back, he's heartbroken. He knows his beloved Fatima. She wants some of these pomegranates. He enters the house. He sees the Lady of Light with a tray full of beautiful pomegranates. He wonders what's going on. She says to him, Ya Abul Hasan, these are pomegranates sent by Allah through Jibreel to the Holy Prophet for you and I because of your act of sacrifice for giving those pomegranates to the poor person on your way. Therefore, Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. How powerful was this household that their main objective was what? They would show love to each other through service to others. Their main objective was to create a harmonious relationship at home through what? Through khidmah and making a positive difference in society. And that's why they were a perfect match for each other. And somebody said, I always wondered why Ali was born inside the Kaaba. Why? Why was Ali the only person on the history of mankind to be blessed to be born inside the greatest and the most sacred house of God? Why is that? And the answer is Fatima. Someone says, what? Fatima? How is Fatima related to this? How is Fatima his wife related to Ali born inside the house. This is how it's related. He said, if the bride is from the house of Rasul, the groom has to be from the house of Allah. There is no other way. If the bride is from the house of the Prophet, the groom has to be from the house of the Lord. And therefore you find that this wonderful relationship was based on the foundation of khair and making a positive difference in society. And congratulations to each and every one of you on the blessed occasion of the wilada of Sayyidatun Nisa Fatima Az-Zahra salawatullahi wa salamu alayha. And congratulations to the happy couple and their families. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant the happy couple tawfiq, success, bliss, joy in this world and akhirah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them with righteous children in the path of Ali and Fatima. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all with the barakah of salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Thank you, Shaykh. I will now hand over to the Jamaat to conduct the Nikah ceremony on behalf of all the families with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. Muhammad. The setup has changed, Shaykh. So I don't know whether we're doing it here or there. I think we might be here. Can I request the families to come forward, please? Please welcome them with salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Wow. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Today is Saturday, 21st December 2024, 18th Jamad al-Akhir 1446. You are about to witness the Nikah ceremony of Brother Ahmed, son of Mehboob Dosa, to Sister Zahra Marziya Ahmed, daughter of Mahmoud Hemani. The Nikah is being recited by Ahmed Dosa, the groom himself, and Shaykh Muhammad Al-Hilli on behalf of the bride at an agreed mahar. Mar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله إقرارا بنعمته ولا إله إلا الله إخلاصا بوحدانيته، والصلاة والسلام على محمد خير بريته وعلى الأصفياء من عترته. أما بعد، فقد كان من فضل الله على الأنام أن أغناهم بالحلال عن الحرام، وقال وقوله الحق: وأنكحوا الأيام منكم والصالحين من عبادكم وإمائكم إن يكونوا فقراء يغنهم الله من فضله. وقال النبي الأعظم، النبي المهذب والصفي المقرب والحبيب المنتجب والأمين المنتخب، صاحب الحوض والكوثر والتاج والمغفر والخطبة والمنبر والركن والمشعر والوجه الأنور والخد الأقمر والجبين الأزهر والدين الأظهر والحسب الأطهر والنسب الأشهر، الذي أرسله الباري عز وجل خيرا للبشر، نور في الحرمين، شمس بين القمرين، شفيع من في الدارين، صاحب الفضل والعطاء والجود والسخاء والتذكر والبكاء والخشوع والدعاء، صاحب المنشور والكتاب والفرقان والخطاب والحق والصواب والدعوة والجواب، صاحب الوقار والسكينة، المدفون بأرض المدينة، سيد المرسلين، خاتم النبيين، شفيع المذنبين، رحمة للعالمين، رسول الله، العبد المؤيد، الرسول المسدد، المصطفى الأمجد، المصطفى محمد. تناكحوا تناسلوا تكثروا فإني أباهي بكم الأمم يوم القيامة ولو بالسقط. وقال صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم: النكاح سنتي فمن رغب عن سنتي فليس مني. وقال أمير المؤمنين وإمام المسلمين وسيد الوصيين وقائد المتقين وأول السابقين وأفضل المجاهدين ويعسوب المؤمنين، علم الراشدين، مولى الموحدين، قبلة العارفين، قائد الغر المحجلين، قاتل الناكثين والقاسطين، مبيد الشرك والمشركين، زوج سيدة نساء العالمين، عنوان صحيفة المؤمنين، الأنزع البطين، الأشرف المكين، سيد الوصيين، خليفة رسول رب العالمين، فارس المؤمنين، حبل الله المتين، وارث علم النبيين، فارس بدر وحنين، وصاحب السيفين، وأبو القبلتين، وزوج مليكة الكونين، وإمام الثقلين، سيد النجباء، هادي الأولياء، قبلة الرحماء، إمام الأتقياء، قدوة الأوصياء، مرشد العلماء، أبلغ البلغاء، أخطب الخطباء، الشهيد، أبو الشهداء، ثاني أهل الكساء، صاحب الراية واللواء، زوج فاطمة الزهراء، الأسد الجبار، حيدر الكرار، صاحب ذو الفقار، قاتل المنافقين والكفار، سيد المهاجرين والأنصار، ابن عم النبي المختار، الكرار غير الفرار، قسيم الجنة والنار، السيد المطهر، الإمام المظفر، الشجاع الغضنفر، أبي شبير وشبر، أخو الرسول، زوج البتول، سيف الله المسلول، مظهر العجائب، ليث بني طالب، الشهاب الثاقب، مفرق الكتائب، أسد الله الغالب، غالب كل غالب، مطلوب كل طالب، إمام المشارق والمغارب، الذي حبه فرض على الحاضر والغائب، مولانا ومولى الثقلين، علي بن أبي طالب. من تزوج فقد أحرز نصف دينه فليتق الله في النصف الآخر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. على كتاب الله وعلى سنة نبيه وهدي أهل بيته عليهم أفضل الصلاة والسلام. أخي أحمد ابن الأخ محبوب دوسا، أنكحتك موكلتي زهراء مرضية أحمد بنت الأخ محمود هماني على المهر والصداق المتفق المعلوم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قبلت النكاح.
زوجتك يا أحمد موكلتي زهراء مرضية أحمد على المهر والصداق المتفق المعلوم.
قبلت التزويج.
أنكحت وزوجت موكلتي زهراء مرضية أحمد بنت الأخ محمود هماني بك يا أحمد ابن محبوب دوسا على المهر والصداق المتفق المعلوم.
قبلت النكاح والتزويج.
زوجتك وأنكحتك موكلتي زهراء مرزية أحمد يا أحمد ابن محمود دوسا على المهر والصداق المتفق المعلوم.
قبلت التزويج والنكاح.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم بحق محمد وأنت المحمود، وبحق علي وأنت الأعلى، وبحق فاطمة وأنت فاطر السماوات والأرض، وبحق الحسن وأنت المحسن، وبحق الحسين وأنت قديم الإحسان. اللهم وفقهما وأسعدهما وبارك لهما كما أسعدت وباركت ووفقت نبيك آدم وحواء سلام الله عليهم. اللهم بارك لهما وأسعدهما كما وفقت وباركت إبراهيم وزوجته هاجر سلام الله عليهم. اللهم وفقهما وبارك لهما وأسعدهما كما وفقت وباركت وأسعدت نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وخديجة الكبرى سلام الله عليها. اللهم أسعدهما ووفقهما وبارك لهما كما أسعدت وباركت وليك علي بن أبي طالب وفاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، وارزقهما البطانة الصالحة والأولاد الصالحين على ولاية أمير المؤمنين عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام. Oh Allah, in this blessed gathering, as we have gathered on this beautiful auspicious occasion of the birth of your greatest female creation, we ask you, Ya Rabb al-Alameen, to grant the happy couple Ahmed and Marziya success, tawfiq, joy in this world and akhirah. Ya Allah, we ask you, as you instilled love between your Prophet, the Holy Prophet, and Khadija, and between your chosen representative after the Prophet Ali and his beloved wife Fatima, instill and increase the love between Ahmed and Marziya and grant them righteous children in the path of wilaya, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, those amongst us, as it is recommended that the time of nikah is a time whereby du'as are answered. Ya Allah, those amongst us with hajat, with needs, Ya Allah, fulfill all our wishes, Ya Allah. Those amongst us who are here, who are seeking and looking to get married, Ya Allah, bless them with a righteous spouse. Those amongst us who are looking to have righteous children, Ya Allah, bless them with righteous children. Bless the believers, the Muslims all around the world with prosperity, with safety and security, with the barakah of salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Ahsant. The Hujjat Jamaat takes pleasure to congratulate both families on this happy occasion, and may we request you all to join in prayers to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the wasila of 14 Masumeen alayhim as-salam to bestow heavenly blessings for a long, healthy, prosperous Islamic way of life, blessed with children in the sirat of Aimma alayhim as-salam. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
Congratulations to Marziya, Ahmed, and all the families on this joyous occasion. So I know typically the MC provides some marital advice to the bride and groom, but unfortunately, I'm not married, so I don't have any advice in that department. However, I have unfortunately had to live with Ahmed for the past 20 years, so I can provide Marziya with an insight to what that's like. So Ahmed holds a reputation for many things, but at the top of that list is his legendary love of food. And well, it shows. The moment any form of dessert enters our house, Ahmed starts to eye it up, ready to pounce. Both myself and my younger brother Hassan have learned the hard way that if we don't get to the food first, before Ahmed, we won't get to it at all. So Marziya, savor every bite of your meals today and tomorrow, because starting from Monday, you'll be living off Ahmed's leftovers, if they even exist. But on a more serious note, over the years, your advice, support, and willingness to look out for me have shaped who I am today. You have taught me lessons I'll carry for a lifetime, and for that I'll always be grateful. Marziya, from the moment I met you, it was clear how much love and happiness you bring into Ahmed's life. You've not only made him happier, but more tolerable, so I guess I owe you a thank you. Inshallah, Allah will bless this marriage with barakah and many, many children. We'll now move on to our second and final qasida. Can we please welcome Ali and Yusuf Akara with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
बर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सलवा। नारे तकबीर, नारे तकबीर, नारे रिसालत, ये शाह नजफ तक पहुंचाना है। कुल्ले ईमान नारा हैदरी। क्या बात है, इधर से बहुत आवाज़ आ रही है, उधर से नहीं है। कुल्ले ईमान नारा हैदरी। बराए ताजील इमाम ज़माना बावाज़ बुलंद तर सलावत। चार मिसरे से आगाज़ करता हूँ, फिर दो कलाम जो मुझे फरमाइश दी गई इसके 2 से 3 शेर पेश करता हूँ। हम जो ये एहतिमाम करते हैं, हम जो ये एहतिमाम करते हैं, हम जो ये एहतिमाम करते हैं, अपना ऊंचा मकाम करते हैं। और अजीब मिसरा है कि जब लगाते हैं नारा है दर का। आप लगाएंगे या मैं लगाऊं? क्या बात है। जब लगाते हैं नारा हैदर का, तो चांद तारे सलाम करते हैं। वाह 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 वाह, सबको कहना है यार। वाह, मौला सलामत रखे। पर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सलावत। ख़ास अशार पढ़ रहा हूँ, गौर कीजिएगा। वालिद साहब ने कहा कि यूसुफ लाजमी ये कलाम पढ़ना है, तो मैं पेश करता हूँ। चंद अशार बीबी ज़हरा सलामुल्लाहि अलैहा की सना सुन ले। बर मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद सलावत। बड़ा भारी पहला मिसरा है कि हर फजीलत बनी, हर फजीलत बनी फातिमा के लिए। आप हैं मेरे साथ तो मैं पढ़ूंगा आगे आगे। हर फजीलत बनी, बहुत आसानी मेरे साथ भी पढ़ेगा। हर फजीलत बनी फातिमा के लिए, हर फजीलत बनी फातिमा के लिए, हर फजीलत बनी फातिमा के लिए। के बना है अली फातिमा के लिए, हर फजीलत बनी फातिमा के लिए। पहला शेर देखें। आयतें जब भी आई तो बैठे रहे, आयतें जब भी आई तो बैठे रहे, उठ रहे हैं नबी फातिमा के लिए। हर फजीलत बनी फातिमा के लिए, हर फजीलत बनी फातिमा के लिए। अपनी पसंदीदा शेर पेश करता हूँ कि नाम ज़ैनब रखा रब्बे अकबर ने, और नाम ज़ैनब रखा रब्बे अकबर ने, और फातिमा फातिमा भेज दी फातिमा के लिए। हर फजीलत बनी फातिमा के लिए, हर फजीलत बनी फातिमा के लिए। दर्जी बनकर मलक अर्श से आ गया, दर्जी बनकर मलक अर्श से आ गया, दर्जी बनकर मलक अर्श से आ गया। ज़ात बदली गई फातिमा के लिए। बोलो नारा हैदरी। हर फजीलत बनी फातिमा के लिए, हर फजीलत बनी फातिमा के लिए। एक फिजा है जो, एक फिजा है जो बोल सकती है बस फातिमा के लिए। एक फिजा है जो बोल सकती है बस, एक फिजा है जो बोल सकती है बस। क्या शरफ है मेरी खिलकत हुई फातिमा के लिए। हर फजीलत बनी फातिमा के लिए, हर फजीलत बनी फातिमा के लिए। आखिरी शेर के दर पे सलमान हाथों को जोड़े हुए, दर पे सलमान हाथों को जोड़े हुए, दर पे सलमान हाथों को जोड़े हुए। मौत ठहरी रही फातिमा के लिए। सलामत रहे मेरे भाई, क्या बात है। हर फजीलत बनी फातिमा के लिए। आखिरी शेर अपनी पसंदीदा का भी है। हम आज़ादार, सब आज़ादार हैं मेरे सामने, बहुत मातमी नज़र आ रहे हैं कि हम आज़ादार जन्नत में जाएंगे बस, बस हम आज़ादार जन्नत में जाएंगे बस, हम आज़ादार जन्नत में जाएंगे बस। क्योंकि जन्नत बनी फातिमा के लिए। सलामत रहें। हम आज़ादार जन्नत में जाएंगे बस, क्योंकि जन्नत बनी फातिमा के लिए। पर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सलवात। हाय हाय। ये कलाम शादी के हवाले से मैं पेश करता हूँ, आप सब जानते हैं, बहुत मशहूर कलाम है। मदीना ए नबवी को, मदीना ए नबवी को सजाया जाता है, ज़मीन सहरा को जन्नत बनाया जाता है। क्यों? खुदा की सारी खुदाई खड़ी है सुनने को, अबू तुराब का सहरा सुनाया जाता है। सुनो अर्श वालो, सुनो अर्श वालो, सुनो फर्श वालो, मैं सहरा, मैं सहरा, मैं सहरा अली का सुनाने चला हूँ। सुनो अर्श वालो, पढ़ूँ तेरे दादा, पढ़ूँ तेरे दादा की शादी का मंज़र, ए मेरे इमाम ज़माना मदद कर। पढ़ूँ तेरे दादा की शादी का मंज़र, ए मेरे इमाम ज़माना मदद कर। तस्वुर में हर एक मोमिन मुहिब को अली का बराती बनाने चला हूँ। सुनो अर्श वालो, खुदा कहता होगा, खुदा खुदा कहता होगा, अगर होता काबा मेरे घर से ही जाती, बारात इसकी, बारात इसकी। ये मेरा वली है, सो इसके लिए मैं मदीने को काबा बनाने चला। अली मौला, अली मौला। आखिरी शेर है, या अली। सुनो अर्श वालो, सुनो फर्श वालो, मैं सहरा अली का सुनाने चला हूँ। आय हाय। अता करके हैदर, अता करके हैदर को ज़हरा सी ज़ोजा, अता करके हैदर को ज़हरा सी ज़ोजा। पुकारा फलक पर ये माबूद मेरा, माबूद मेरा। अली ने बनाई है किस्मत जहाँ की, अली की मैं, अली की मैं किस्मत बनाने चला हूँ। सुनो अर्श वालो, सुनो फर्श वालो, मैं सहरा अली का सुनाने चला हूँ। वर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु
कि हिम्मत थी ये किस्में दर खैबर को उखारे,
हिम्मत थी ये, हिम्मत थी ये किस्में दर खैबर को उखाड़ी
के अंतर को करे ज़हर और मरहब को पछारे
गहवार में लेटे हुए अजदर को भी फाड़े
डूबे हुए सूरज को जो मगरिब से उभारे
ये कौन ये कौन ये कौन अजाइब का मज़र
कौन वली है ये मौला अली मौला अली मौला अली
है
ये मौला अली है ये
मौला अली है
के ऊँटों की कतारों को जो खैरात किया हो
ऊँटों की कतारों को जो खैरात किया हो
से रोज़ों की जो नाने जमी बख्श दिया हो
साइल को रुकू में जो अंगूठी को दिया हो
शब रोज यतीमों में ग़िज़ा सर्फ किया हो
हातिम है कुजा ये तो सखी
इब्न सखी है ये मौला अली मौला अली
मौला अली है
ये मौला अली है ये
मौला अली है
कि ये में विला हमने भरी शान से पी है
हमसे जो बची थी उसे जिब्रील ने पी है
मीसम ने इसे चर के सरेदार पे पी है
शब रोज अबू जर ने जिला वतनी में पी है
इसमें कद कौसर का फकत एक धनी है ये मौला अली मौला अली मौला अली है सब मिलके ये मौला अली है ये मौला अली है
ये मौला अली है
ये मौला अली है
अल्लाह का वली लम यज़ली मौला अली है
अहमद का वसी कश्फ वली मौला अली है
खैबर का गनी खैबर का गनी नादे अली मौला अली है
महशर का शफी नूर जली मौला अली है
शब रोज़ ये कहता है तकीब इश्क मनी है
ये मौला अली मौला अली मौला अली है ये मौला
सब मिलके
ये मौला
अली है ये मौला अली है ये मौला अली है ये मौला अली है ये मौला
अली
ये मौला अली
मौला
ये
मौला अली शेर खुदा ला फता इल्ला अली ला सैफ इल्ला जुल्फ़िकार
मौला अली है
ये मौला अली
मौला अली मौला अली है ये मौला अली है ये मौला अली नारा हैदरी
अली
Thank you, Ali, Yusuf, and Hussein, for that beautiful recitation. We will now move on to our one and only speech for this evening, one I've been looking forward to for a very long time. So can we please welcome the groom's uncle, Azim Dosa, with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Thank you for the responsibility of giving the main speech, but I thought I'd give the groom at least the courtesy to ask which one he wants. This one I have written. A lot of skeletons waiting to come out and probably strip you of the little respect and self-dignity you might still have left. This one, written by my daughters. Which one which you would like? Take my pick. You might live to regret that. Oh, okay. I'll save this for the first anniversary. All right. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I begin in the name of Allah, the most merciful and most kind. My respected scholars, elders, brothers, and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum. I would like to welcome you all and thank all the friends, guests, community, and family members on behalf of the Raza Dosa family, CUG family, and Ahmed Muraj family for gracing your presence on this auspicious occasion of the wedding ceremony of Ahmed and Marziya. Karibuni sana, and welcome. Not sure if I need to introduce myself, as I have been directing and parking most of your cars in this center for the last 20 years. And I know more about your cars than you probably do yourselves. My name is Azim Dosa, and the dashing groom here has the honor of calling me his kaka. It feels quite surreal, actually, to be inside the center as part of a full event and a wedding ceremony for the first time after a very long time. Because we as CPVs or car park volunteers are normally outstanding members of the community, quite literally. Ahmed was our first child in the family and grandchild in the Dosa family. So you can imagine how he was received and treated almost like royalty, especially by my mom. She adored him so much. He would do no wrong in front of her eyes, doting around him with treats and kisses, which was very apparent if you saw his baby photos, because you'd see a lot of Michelin tires around his waist. At this point, I would like you to remember both my mom and dad, who obviously are no longer with us and would have loved to be part of this occasion, to pray and recite a Surah Fatih for them. We as a family quite literally watched Ahmed grow up, and it feels only like yesterday when he was a troublesome little toddler who would throw our prehistoric mobile phones in the toilet, out of the window, and everywhere else he could find. We probably lost about 5 or 6 phones in that way. So Marziya, I think a piece of advice, you might seriously need to consider mobile phone insurance going forward. It might be really worth it. As I mentioned, Ahmed has always been a golden child in our family who brought a lot of blessings and rahmah for the whole extended family. He was the first grandchild, as I mentioned, who excelled academically without even putting in much of an effort, to the dismay of his siblings and cousins who had to keep up. Then over the years, he has grown into this handsome, savvy, intelligent, responsible, and reliable person you all know today. So basically, he turned out exactly like Kaka. And not his dad, I might add. In fact, to continue to imitate me further, he even decided to join the CPVs like I did. One of the other passions we both share is being a foodie, as you can tell from my physique. So, piece of advice, Marziya, I really must warn you, this guy is on another level. Champions League level. Every time he comes home, I have to have an open wallet surgery to restock my kitchen. Every time. So all I can probably see Marziya doing going forward is cooking day and night with both her hands and her feet to keep up with his demands. Even though he studied to be a civil engineer, one of his main impressive qualities is his entrepreneurial spirit and his ability to self-teach and learn everything about cars, which is his main passion in life. And he turned that into a fledgling and successful car mechanic business. His quest on self-learning did not stop there. This man can do everything you need to fix, better than anyone that I know, including painting, professional cleaning, wallpapering, plumbing, electrical works, the lot, all part of his growing business portfolio. In fact, he was involved in renovating this very center, in helping renovating it, including Harefield. So I hope this free marketing and PR exercise is enough for our commission deal later. After all these accolades, I think Ahmed's best and biggest achievement has been to find a perfect life partner like Marziya. Marziya, we are so honored and blessed that you have chosen us to join our family. Make sure you put on your safety belt because you are in for a roller coaster of a lifetime. Spiced with a lot of entertainment and late night dosa gatherings, some of which may turn into all-nighters if Monopoly is involved. From the short time we've known you, we have been touched by a warm, amazing personality, character, and sense of humor which has blended in seamlessly with our family. We are so excited and overjoyed to have you as part of our Dosa Ahlul Bayt. It's too late anyway to back out now. Kabiltu is done. Now, here comes some marriage advice. As our respected scholars also highlighted. Having been happily married for the last 20 years, I feel quite qualified to give you both some advice. As stipulated by Allah in the Quran, marriage is a holy and blessed mechanism to achieve both your dunya and your akhirah. As a couple, this marriage is strengthened by creating a lifelong companionship and bond, which is glued by love, compassion, and mercy blessed by Allah. However, this relationship needs a lot of time and investment in time, love, and most of all, being ready to compromise through effective communication. Because life will throw you a lot of challenges, and there will be ups and downs. Be sure of it. But make sure you face and navigate them together as a unit, because you are now a single unit, a single person. Her happiness is your happiness. Her problems are your problems. Her stress is your stress. Her pain is your pain, and vice versa. Make sure you never go to sleep at night being angry with each other, and be ready to compromise and talk things through with compassion and mercy for each other. Sometimes even be man enough to say sorry and that you got it wrong. So I thought maybe it might be helpful to do a practice run maybe right now if you want. Just try and nod your neck with me and say, Marziya, I was sorry, I was wrong. A few practice sessions. You see the size of my neck, how strong and muscular it is? 20 years of nodding I've been doing. And there is an anti-locking device. You can't do this. You have to keep going. 20 years, yeah? Writing notes? Good man. Well, before I proceed, I think I got advised by my lawyer to put this legal disclaimer that the previous whole paragraph that was written and that I spoke was written under duress in front of my wife. And I accept no personal liability on your relationship. To Ahmed and Marziya, we have all enjoyed celebrating and being part of this happy new milestone in your lives. And we sincerely pray and ask Allah to bless you with an Islamic way of life and loads of children, inshallah. Finally, there are many people I would like to thank for making this occasion such a memorable and joyous event. Firstly, I would like to thank all the volunteers, the CPVs who are outside in the cold, come day and night, family members and friends, ladies and gents on both sides, who have worked so hard to organize this event and other events throughout this whole week so perfectly. We are so grateful to you and pray that Allah rewards you for all your assistance. Secondly, I would like to thank everyone here on behalf of the Raza Dosa family, Ahmed Muraj family, for attending and sharing in our happy celebrations today. Before I end, it is at times like this that we must remember and honor those who are no longer with us, including remembering all those who have been killed and are living under horrendous oppression and occupation throughout the world, especially in the Middle East. We have lost some of our most esteemed leaders and scholars in these conflicts. To remember them all, please recite the Surah Fatiha followed by a loud salawat for all marhumeens of the Ghulam Hussain Dosa family, Suleiman Kaku family, Fida Hussain Sivji family, Fida Hussain Fazal family, Jafar Danji family, Ahmad Muraj family, and Kul marhumeen. Thank you.
Thank you, Azim. So on behalf of all the families, I'd like to say a thank you to all our guests for joining us, especially those who have come from far and wide, including the US and UAE, to bless this happy occasion. Before we end the program, could you please recite a Surah Fatiha for the marhumeen of the Dosa, Silji, and Ahmed Muraj families, and call marhumeen. Al-Fatiha. After ziyarat, we will commence with the handshaking ceremony, and unfortunately, there will be no walima niyaz, but takeaway will be served on your way out. We will now have ziyarat by Hussein Mauji.
Mu'mineen, please may I request you to join me in reciting 5 times Amma Yujibu for the shifa of Hassan Uncle Kaku who is unwell and all those who are unwell. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Amma yujibu al-mudtarra idha da'ahu wa yakshifu as-su'. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى. السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين. خصوصا سيدي أبا الفضل العباس وأختيك زينب وأم كلثوم وبنتك سكينة. السلام عليك يا علي زين العابدين السجاد ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا محمد الباقر الألوم. السلام عليك يا جعفر الصادق الأمين. السلام عليك يا موسى الكاظم باب الهوائج. السلام عليك يا سلطان أبا الحسن علي بن موسى الرضا البعيد المدى. كن شفيعنا وشفيع والدينا في يوم الجزاء. السلام على أختك فاطمة المعصومة جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا محمد التقي الجواد. السلام عليك يا علي النكي الحادي. السلام عليك يا حسن الزكي العسكري. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا صاحب الزمان. عجل الله تعالى فرجه وسهل الله مخرجه وظهورك ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ونيلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.